Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to this pick a card reading. This is a love centered reading. It does not have to be romantic, it could be platonic or familial, but this is any reading for someone who feels stuck or who feels trapped or who feels like they can't let a person go. They could feel like they're so attached to this person. This is going to give you clarity as to why you feel so attached to this soulmate contract. We do have three different piles to choose from, three different crystals. The first one is going to be Bloodstone. The second one is going to be Dalmatian Jasper. And then the third one is going to be Howlite. Okay. I will leave the timestamps down below. If you need a moment to pause the video and choose the reading, you can go ahead and do so. Otherwise, I will see you in your reading. Okay, pile one, you chose Bloodstone. Now, this is a good, intense healing crystal. Okay, very much about healing. They call it the Master Healing Stone. It's good for grounding and protection as well. And it's good to just kind of ward off negative energy. So we'll see. That could be an extra message for you. But we have You Are Never Alone. I love that. This is a love reading. So, of course, we're going to get the otters. That makes sense. Now, otters are meant to be, they're portrayed to be very loyal, right? They're very loving to each other. But there's a loneliness. I'm going to tell you that right now. The reason why you're attached to this person is because of loneliness. So you have to really ask yourself, are you staying with this person, or are you constantly attracted to this person and going back to this person because you're still in love with them, or is it because you feel like you don't have another choice because you're settling because you feel lonely, right? I know that's a tough question to ask, and it's a tough pill to swallow. But we do get to that point sometimes in certain relationships where we're like, okay, I still have love for this person, but I'm only being here because I feel like I don't have another choice. So you really need to question that. That's coming up with that card. And there's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes that happens, right? Let's see what else you need to know. Why do they feel so attached to this person? Why does card number one group, the Bloodstone group, why do they feel, especially if it's a root chakra, right? That's the Bloodstone. So security, safety. Yeah, I was just going to say protection. And there it is. Ooh, and then you have fire underneath that ignition. They feel like a safe option. Or if it is chaotic and if it is a weird relationship where you never know what you're going to get. What you're really trying to achieve here is, if you don't let this person go, then there's the risk of getting hurt out there. It's almost like a familiarity with this person. Like, you know what you're going to get with this person. Again, I feel like you're settling, card number one. I really do. And I feel like you feel like there's no other choice. And that's why you're so attached. You're trying to protect yourself by not letting this person go, but you're actually hindering yourself by doing that. It's contradictory. It's counterproductive for you to stay here. You're shutting yourself out from the world. You're putting yourself in a cave with this relationship. Now, I'm also getting a sense of like you're attached because you feel like you have to protect somebody else. Maybe there's children involved. I don't know. Let's see. Card number one. The Fool. Eight of Pentacles. Eight of Cups. Queen of Cups. Nine of Pentacles. Seven of Pentacles. That's a lot of Pentacles. Hierophant. You could be married to this person, or have a very, very solid commitment with them, as far as maybe you live together. Again, maybe you have children together. Maybe you work together. You're attached to this person because you don't feel worthy enough of being loved and supported and emotionally taken care of the way that you deserve it. Card number one. You're scared of new beginnings. You're scared to take a risk. You're scared to start over. You're scared also of independence and being alone. I'm going to be honest. That's the second time. of being on your own, of emotionally detaching and then only being with yourself emotionally. I feel like it's been a long time since this has happened. It's almost like this is, again, I don't know, maybe this is like I'm trying to say this in a way that's good for YouTube standards, but it feels like maybe there's religious factors that are playing into this, or there's traditional and moral values that are getting played into this, and you're thinking like, I can't divorce this person, or I can't leave him behind because this is how it's always been done. Like there's almost like a repetitive nature to this relationship, and that's why you feel so attached, because you feel like you're letting somebody else down if you walk away. But like the person that you're letting yourself down the most is yourself. You want to walk away, pile number one. I could see that. You want to walk away. But you feel like you'll be alone in the decision, or maybe unfortunately it's going to affect the family life, and like nobody's going to support you in it. But you have the Emperor coming up on the Eight of Cups. Only you can control where you've come from, what you're letting go of, and where you're going. Only you. Nobody else. And it's up to you, and it is your decision. I think you're asking yourself, like, can I build on this relationship? How much effort, how much time, how much affection, how much love am I willing to continue to invest in this? You're asking yourself this at this time. You're attached because you don't want to be made a fool. You're attached because you're looking back and you're saying, God, but I put so much into this person. Again, you either live with them, you're married to them, you have children with them. So, of course, you feel stuck, you feel trapped. Fool. You are allowed to go after your desires. You are allowed to have a passionate relationship. You are allowed to have a relationship where it's fun, it's exciting, there's an attraction there. You're allowed that. You're allowed to have that new beginning there. I have Leo, Aries, and Taurus energy on the table, if that resonates. I also have Cancer energy. You're missing out. Pile number one, you feel like you're missing out. You also don't want to regret the decision that you make. You almost daydream of being separate from this person. You daydream about it. You wish that you could, but you can. Why do you feel like that is so far away from you when it's literally right in your face? It's right next to you. And you are protected from spirit. You are so protected from spirit. This feels like a fantasy gone wrong. You daydream and fantasize about having an option, having a choice of something that's more emotionally fulfilling. You are now currently attached to a person who is a little bit more emotionally detached. They're a little bit more cold. You don't have to rush, by the way. There's no rushing needed. But at some point you have to ask yourself, why do you feel unloved? Why do you feel unsupported? Why do you feel lonely? Why do you feel abandoned? You shouldn't feel like that in a relationship. Death. Death says, look at what's dying, what's decaying, what's fermenting, what needs to be buried, mourned, grieved, and moved on from. What do you have to say goodbye to? I know that there's a family dynamic here, okay? This is a family scenario. But guess what? Many people have done it before you. That means that you can do it too, okay? If you still need clarity on this, book a personal reading with me in the description box. Otherwise, I hope that this helped. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay, pile 2. This is for those of you that chose Dalmatian Jasper. This is a good stone for bringing in more joy, more happiness, more playfulness, bringing your emotions into balance. It's good for grounding. It's good for protection. It's good for creativity, and it's good for focus, okay? So bring that into your love situation. We have Life is a Mystery, the Bobcat Spirit. Ooh. For me, this feels like the reason why you're, first of all, the reason why you're so attached is there's a karmic cycle here. There's a karmic repeat. It's a round and round situation, okay? Someone's got their eyes on you, clearly. You also don't know everything. There's a mysterious element to this. So there's an unknown uncertainty. So that's what's keeping you attached. This feels very scorpionic, Plutonian in nature. It's like they keep reeling you back in with their mystery or their unknown. Let's see, what else? Why is card number 2 attached? Oh, I really want to take that. Man, this is a hot and heavy, intense relationship. I mean, this feels like the typical push and pull. Okay, this feels like I want you, I don't want you. Let's make up, let's break up. A lot of intense passion. Again, very scorpionic, very Plutonian. A lot of pain, too. I'm going to be honest. Pile number 2. A lot of pain. Things get out of control in this relationship. Things get turned into a bigger deal, a bigger problem than it needs to be. And you're attached because, unfortunately, card number 2, I'm going to tell you that you guys get how do I say this? Addicted. I'll say it. You're addicted to this person. You are obsessed with this person. You are enthralled in them. Okay? It's almost like they're a siren calling you to the ocean. You cannot get enough of this person. You can't get over this person. That's why Dalmatian Jasper is here, okay? More emotional balance. You need emotional balance. Okay, let's see. Talk about emotional balance. So this is what I'm saying. There is a third aspect involved. It could be a third person. But it could be that they work too much or you work too much. It could be that someone's doing something else and not giving enough attention to the relationship. It is a third aspect. Let me say it that way. You're attached to this person because you're used to the second chances. You're used to giving them a second chance. You desire them. It's a very raw, guttural, base level. There's Leo energy here. There's Sagittarius energy here. If that resonates. You cannot get, like, again, it's almost like no matter how much, this is, you have to ask yourself at this point, is this a healthy obsession? Or is this a destructive obsession? You really need to ask yourself that at this time, pile number 2. Again, reunion, let go. Reunion, let go. Reunion, let go. You're attached because you hope that there will always be a reunion, that there will always be a second chance. You have to really ask yourself what the truth is. The truth is that there's a history with this person, all right? The truth is that you find comfort in thinking that you have a future with this person, but at the end of the day, all it does, you're surrounded by fighting, arguing, intense conversations that lead to something bigger that it doesn't need to be. This is a soulmate contract. It is. But attachment is not a good thing, right? You can't be attached to a person. You have to have your own individuality, your own identity. And I feel like you've lost that. You've lost your own self. You've lost yourself in this person. You need to heal. I'm going to be honest, pile number 2. You need to heal. It's like, there's this raw aggressive attraction that's not healthy. It's obsession. You have to do something differently. It's time to do something differently this time. You're constantly daydreaming about them. You're constantly in your head about them. You're constantly wondering if there's going to be a second chance. I don't think you're with this person. I think that you're currently in a break or there's distance. Balance. You're out of balance. That's why you're attached to this person. Emotionally, mentally, spiritually, you need to be in balance. And then you will see what's right and what's wrong. Oh, I wanted to pull out 2 cards for that. Okay. You need to communicate with this person and to do things differently. You're not seeing it, but you need to do that. Honesty, integrity. You need to have an honest conversation. 3 of Cups. I mean, how many times are you or them or both of you, whatever, but someone's being made a fool over and over and over because of a third party? Prince of Wands. Painful conversations. This is hurting someone with words just to get the win. Okay? This is a win or lose situation at all costs. Pile number 2. And you have to really be clear because it's a hot and cold. It's a hot and cold. It's a hot and cold. And again, unfortunately, I feel like in a way you're addicted to this person and that's why you're attached. And that's why you deal with the hot and cold. That's why you deal with the pain. That's why you deal with the wounds. That's why you deal with the hurt of it. Because in your mind, you feel like the risk is worth the reward, but you really need to start looking at it differently and to start doing things differently because it's not worth the reward. Again, if you want clarity on this, you can book a personal reading with me. Otherwise, thank you for tuning in. I hope that this helped, and I'll see you in the next one. All right, pile number 3. You chose Howlite. Howlite is very good for anger, stress, frustration, all the pent-up lower energies, and getting rid of them, cleansing them. It's good for meditation as far as opening up your third eye. All right. And it's good for patience. Patience. And I think that that's the key word in this attachment. You need to have patience with yourself. Sometimes life stings. Yep. The wasp spirit is coming up. Oof. Pile number 3. Yeah, this is a painful one. This is a toughie. This is one that hurts over and over and over again. And a wasp, think about a wasp, okay? When it stings you, it doesn't go away. It's relentless, right? Hornets and wasps are relentless. This is relentless pain. That's why you're attached to it. Let's see what else, though, right? Pile 3. Why are they attached in this connection? Why are they attached in this connection? I also feel like in general, this relationship, this dynamic, let me call it that, because I'm not even sure if it's a relationship that's current right now. It's, you don't get a lot of answers. It's hard to get something out. Depth. Oh, there it is. Because you're constantly searching for that depth, but you're drowning in it, pile number 3. Ooh, okay, out of all the piles, I'm going to be honest, I feel like I have to lecture you. And I mean that in the most loving way right now, okay? I mean that in the most supportive way because I'm trying to be your bridge to see what's really going on here. You're looking for depth, and you think that you can get that out of this person. But you're drowning. There is no castle. You're attached, I also think, because you are so far deep into this relationship. So you work with them, you have a house with them, you pay bills with them, you have a job with them, something. You have kids with them, okay? You have a long history with them. Maybe you've been together 2, 3, 5 years. I don't know. But are you with them? Because I almost questioned that in the beginning. Deep stinging. They know how to hurt you in a deep way. Oof. Okay. This one's the toughest one out of all 3 piles. I can definitely sense like a a need to heal. Deep, 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 deep healing. Because there's deep, 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 deep pain. Pile 3. Oh, yeah, that was it, actually. There's legal matters, I think, to this as well. Legally, there are things... Yeah, oh my God, there's that stress and that anxiety. We have Scorpio energy. And we have Leo energy. If that resonates. Bottom of the deck, Hangman. You're attached to this person because, well, you're emotionally and sexually attached. I'm going to say it that way, okay? This might not be a reading for everyone. And someone gets, let me say it this way, someone gets sexually distracted. I'll say it that way. I don't know if it's you or if it's them or both of you. You're stressed about either the legal matters of this or questioning whether it's right or wrong. There's an immoral, I'm going to be honest, there's an immoral aspect to this, and you're attached to it because you're attached to the cycle of it. This is a karmic soulmate contract, and you're attached to the cycle of it, the up and down, the up and down, the up and down. And it's beautiful that you want to be through the worst and the good at the same time, through thick and thin, right? You want to be that kind of person to this person. But you really have to look at this relationship from a different light, from a different perspective. That's why the Hangman is on the bottom. And then you have to communicate about it. But unfortunately, I feel like when you do communicate, it turns into an argument with this person. Nothing really gets solved. And then I feel like you're sacrificing more in the relationship than they are. You're investing more than they are. They are. They throw those swords at you. Excuse me. It hurts. Well, why wouldn't it, right? Let's see. Justice. For pile 3. There's some weird stuff going on with this attachment here, pile number 3. There's some weird illusion. It's not real. This relationship is not real, is what I want to say. It's not the daydream that you wished it to be. And also, what's not real is this illusion that you think that there's no other choice, there's no other option, that you have to sacrifice, that you don't have to do anything. Pile number 3. You don't. Well, I'm not gonna keep entertaining this energy. Someone's cheating or just, that was a possibility that came up in pile number 2, but for you, it's obvious to me. Someone really just knows how to hurt the other person. And you're attached to the reunion of it all. Will they come back? Are they going to come back? Stop investing energy. It's not right. That's what the cards are saying. It's not right to keep investing in a relationship where you have to question if you are good enough for them to come back. That's unhealthy, pile number 3. And you don't deserve that. And you know that because there's a depth to this. This relationship, this attachment, I don't even want to call it a relationship. This attachment is making you go deep within yourself, deep within your unconscious, deep within your subconscious, deep within your emotional desires. And unfortunately, what you're finding hurts. It hurts. It stings. They're immature. They need to grow up. They need to level up. They need to evolve on a soul level. They don't know how to communicate. They don't. And of course, if it's your pile that I'm getting a scratchy throat. There's lies. There's cheating. There's manipulation. Yeah, this is a clear telltale attached for the bad, unhealthy reasons kind of relationship. I'm gonna be honest. You're always worried too. You're always worried. Are they cheating on me? Are they gonna leave me? You're desperate, and you have to come out of that desperation energy, or you're never gonna heal. I'm gonna be honest. Put logic ahead of your emotions right now. You need to start using common sense in this dynamic. You have to try your best not to feel emotionally attached so that you can really use your logic. And you're attached because you feel like you can't heal and start over and find a true partnership, a true, loving, healthy, happy relationship, because you've been fed so much bullshit to this point that you feel like this is all you deserve. So you're attached because you're addicted to the idea that this person is the only person for you, and this person is the only person that's going to give you what you need. Patience. Remember, we started with that with Howlite. Stress, anxiety, patience, anger, humiliation, frustration. Those are the things that you're working through right now. You can start over. You're not a fool for thinking that. You can and have and deserve a brand new beginning. You do. You just have to feel like you can attract that. You have to feel confident in that. All right, pile number 3. If you need more clarification, you can book a personal reading with me. Otherwise, thank you for tuning in. I hope that this helped, and I'll see you in the next one.